Welcome to ECN Trade Daily Video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you very much for joining me. To begin with, the Australian dollar, unlike the other markets, didn't make any significant moves overnight and held within the band of 73.80 to 50. In light of today, we have the Australian unemployment, which is due out at 11:30. The target is looking at 5.9, which is unchanged from last month, which is the forecast. And also the employment change is looking towards a forecast of 4.2, which was in April. But last month we saw a stronger release of 60.9k. So keep an eye on that at 11:30 today. Now, in light of the current pattern, I do expect to see supply to increase as we approach this downtrend at 74.80.90 with minor at 50, and I'm looking for a move through 73.80 and down towards 73 cents and reassess from there. Well, the US dollar plummeted overnight against the other major currencies, with concerns increasing with the political developments in the US still pressure the downside on the dollar index. So looking for the euro, I'm now neutral as the market has taken out that 111.20 resistance. However, it has made its highest point overnight of 111.69, which is seen as the highest point since November when Trump got in to the Oval House. Now, as I said, I'm neutral, but for levels, we could see towards 111.70 to 112.30, and what will turn my view around is if we see a move through 110.20.35. This would reinstate the downside to 107 to 108. But at this stage, with the dollar index now under 97.50, does give some concern. Well, dollar yen nosedived overnight and taking out all the levels that I was looking for at 112.65 and 111.65.80 failed to hold. Now with that, now puts a view on towards 110.05.15. Now, I did say in my reports over the last few days that I was a bit concerned at the fact we were overbought and the market was pushing towards the top side and struggling towards that level, and now taking out all the stops, as you can see by this market plummeting overnight. Resistance now comes in at 111.40.45 and firm above at 111.90.205. But as I mentioned, I am concerned with the US dollar weakness that we may see further play to the downside. Now, beneath 110.05 would give further exposure to a target of 108.70.75. Well, sterling didn't really make any moves either, although it was a little bit firmer, partly on the back of the wage growth that climbed 2.4, matching the forecast, but the unemployment rate dipped to 4.6, below the estimate of 4.7. However, the news was not as good as the unemployment claim sector rose to 19.4k. So that was quite a high number. But looking ahead, I expect to see any challenges towards topside to fail towards that 129.80.90 level and above at 130.55.60, with the outcome eventually to see a fall towards this region of 128.65 to 128.20.25 and reassess from there. Well, gold accelerated overnight once clearing 38, went on towards 46 to 52 to record a high of 63. Now I'm looking for a cap now around 70.72. Although it may challenge there, it's unlikely to break above there, and we should see a pullback eventually towards 12.40.42 and reassess from there. And to wrap up with oil, well, the market looked back towards that top side resistance at 49.90 figure. We could see an extension on towards 51.70 before this broader picture turns away from this top side and looks back towards a low of 45 or maybe lower, which I will be keeping you updated as the market progresses over the time. So that wraps up my daily video. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you have a great day ahead, and look out for the intraday report that will be released very shortly.